Well, each Sunday we have done an exhortation about some element of Christian governance, within and without. The danger of trusting government in the wrong way, the importance of honoring government in all ways, the importance of not following others into evil, at times even the government. We've talked about rebellion, we've talked about liberty, we've talked about guilt, we've talked about self-control. Each a necessary concept to understand biblically. Not as the world does, but as God's people do. Well, tomorrow is Labor Day, which is one of the more unchristian holidays on the calendar. So it seemed right to talk about what makes the labor movement go sick when it goes sick. It's a topic of Christian governance, and it's largely one that's been ignored. It's the topic of covetousness. Covetousness. We don't tend to think of this topic as important to government. If I were to say liberty, well, that makes sense. If justice, well, clearly that is part of a government. If I had said authority or obedience or what have you, such words are in Christian thought and in political thought. But covetousness is becoming a missing category in modern thinking, especially in political thinking. And the absence of that is marked about 300 years ago with the arrival of about 300 years of political revolutions. The French Revolution was an economic resentment that led to a bloody redistribution. The Russian Revolution was economic resentment that led to a bloody redistribution. Same in China, same in Venezuela, same in Vietnam, same in Argentina, and the same now in what is being screamed in BLM riots. When covetousness goes public or political, blood is spilt almost every time. That is the lesson of modern history, modern world history. But modern world history doesn't call it covetousness, at least it hasn't for 300 years. No, for the better part of 300 years, the new word for covetousness that condones envy and allows rapacity, the new word has become equality. Equality. Égalité was the bloody word on the lips of those who perpetuated the French Revolution. Ravasno, same thing, was the word on Russian lips that kept the Russian Revolution going. Both words mean equality. In the modern world, equality has come to mean you may not have what I don't have. And in the modern world, politicians get voted when they promise they will not have what you don't have. Now, there is a good definition of equality, but in the modern world, equality has been corrupted by envy. But in the biblical world, it is all right if things are unequal. God gives gifts, and not equally. Matthew 20. God gives talents, 1 talent to you, 5 to you, 10 to you, and it's not equal. Matthew 25. We're even told that God made a body and that all the members of the body do not have the same amount of honor. 1 Corinthians 12. God does not give equally. And when the soul realizes that, saying, God, my neighbor has more than me. That coworker gets a bigger salary than me. Or that country over there has a higher GDP than us. God's answer is, you shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is your neighbor's. Marx, Lenin, Trotsky, Hugo Chavez, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would say, but that sounds like you're giving permission to economic inequalities. And the answer is yes. Yes. Central to justice is not the bloody hand of redistribution, but the unshackled hand that can work hard. Central to national and personal peace is not an eye on disparities, but a heart of thanksgiving. Thank you for what I have, Lord. And thank you for what they have, Lord, for giving it to them. And Father, would you give me more, but until you do, thank you also, Lord, for what I do not have. One man will have more than another in God's world, and in God's world, that's all right. God will take care of you. But if you look around at all the vicious, looting, pillaging, burning, stealing mobs in America right now, and you wish it would all go away, well, understand why it's there in the first place. Because in every one of our hearts, there is a desire for what our neighbor has. There is no peace politically until that is gone eternally. So how does it go away? Through Christ. Through Christ mortifying that sin. Through Christ by being grateful for what you have. And through Christ not coveting what you don't. So through Christ right now, let's confess